Hey everybody, welcome back to the Anointed Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Terry Linscott. I'm so grateful that you're joining me today. We are on episode 60. Come on, man, that's a lot of episodes. And I'm so grateful that you're joining me. If you're listening to me and you've been following me all this time, thank you for spending the last couple of years with me. And I pray that all of this content has been a blessing to your life. And today I want to talk about the battle between where I am and where I'm going. You know, there's a battle, and I'm here and I want to be over there. And what does that look like in my business, my church, my ministry, my organization, me as a person? I hear people say this to me all the time. I'm in a good place, but I'm not where I should be or I want to be. Well, let's get to the place where we are on the way to where we're going, right? That's the mindset. And there is a battle there. There's a battle, a struggle on the inside, being able to get to that place. And I want to deal with that today. But before I do, just a reminder, number one, if you've never subscribed to the channel or the YouTube channel, or maybe you've never went to the YouTube, jump over there, man, hit the subscribe. We have this on video. And I think it'll be a blessing to you to be able to just kind of see it and watch it at times, and maybe show your teams off of the YouTube channel rather than just listening. I think it'll be a blessing at Terry Linscott over there on YouTube. Second thing is listen, if this is helping you, go to my website, terrylinscott.com, send me an email, drop a question. I'll answer it off of the next episode if I can, and or send you back an email. I have people that send me emails and I send responses back. If I could help your team, come in and do a speaking engagement to one of your teams, possibly, I would love to be able to do that, whether it's Zoom or I can get there in person, either way. And on the website, I have a couple of things. First of all, I'm holding up right here. It's Am I Called Into Ministry? How to Determine What Comes Next. It's my first book. It's been published, and I'm so grateful for that. It's a short book, but the reason why it's short is because it's very purposeful. It's very on point. It's straightforward. I don't beat around the bush, and we get straight into it. And I would appreciate it if you feel called into ministry, or if you're in church, you work on a team, a department head, in the ministry at all, you've been a pastor or whatever, I promise you, this book will be helpful to you as it will stretch you and challenge you and strengthen you. So go there. You can get it in hardback on Amazon or Barnes & Nobles. You can get it on digital on any platform that way there. And so I would really appreciate that. The last thing is share this with anybody you can that you know that it would add value to their life. And so again, let's jump in today. The battle between where I am and where I am going. And I want to read this in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. It says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." And this is what we do. We're in faith. We believe it. A vision. I'm a vision guy. I talk about visions all the time, not about these visions you close your eyes and you just see yourself on a boat. I'm talking about the purpose of God, the purpose why you were born. Two things that I think are important to people's lives: the day they were born and the day that they realized why they were born. That purpose, the vision. The vision is a final picture of the work to be done, the thing we're aiming for, the objective that we're going after. And we have to have faith to go after that. That's what faith is. Faith is, I'm going after it, even though I don't see it. Even though I feel it's impossible, even though I don't feel like I can get there, in leadership, in business, in church life, whatever it is, we are living a life of faith because we're doing things we never thought we could, things that have never been done before. We're stretching ourselves in areas in our life that we've never accomplished before. That's what faith is. I see what I want and I'm going after it. I'm going to make it happen, we would say in the business world. I'm going to make that happen. Well, there's an ability to make it happen because if it's your vision, it will come to pass, the Bible says, right? And I want you to see this. So where we are, but I'm not so content here. I would rather be where I'm going to. I'm excited about getting there. Let me explain it. Have you ever been ready for a vacation? Shantae and I, my wife, we're getting ready to head over to Hawaii on a cruise in the next week or so. We cruise out. Or we fly out, we spend 3 days in a resort, we get on a cruise ship, we cruise all the islands, and then we fly home. I'm telling you right now, I'm anticipating Hawaii. I'm anticipating 10 days with my wife, 10 days away from the office, 10 days away from doing anything else. But for 30 years of my life, I've been married to this woman. I'm going to continue to be married with her. I say yes every day of my life to her. But just to spend 10 days with her, I'm ecstatic. It's like I keep looking at my watch. I keep looking at the days. I keep keep counting it down. I keep doing research and seeing what we're going to do and trying to make plans. All the while, I just want to get there. I can't wait to get there, and spend some time quality with my wife. That's what I'm talking about in business, in church, in the vision is we are where we are, but we're so anticipating and anxious about where we're going rather than enjoying where we are. The balance, because there's a battle. There's a battle that we must face every day of our life of where I am, because I am happy, but I'm not satisfied. I'm content, but I'm not fully fulfilled because I'm not where I should be or I want to be, I should say. And so we want to talk about that. What does that look like? And the thing is, I'm talking about the vision, because here's what it is. The vision is the final picture, but a vision without goals is just simply a dream. It's not I'm dreaming, but no, a vision is something I've written and I'm going after. And so without goals, so there's checkpoints. So you've got to have these checkpoints in your life. Goals are checkpoints on the journey to the final destination. I'm saying this for a reason. Checkpoints on the journey to the final destination. And I want you to see that. I want to say this because I'm going to come back to this point in a minute, but a vision always evolves. It always grows. If you will hear me say this one thing, the vision will never end. It will always grow. Life is designed for legacy. Your business, your church, your ministry, the whatever it is, it was never designed to have a retirement date. It was designed for legacy to be handed over generation to generation to generation. That's what we must understand. And so what happens is we get caught up in where we are, knowing there's more for our tomorrow, or we get caught up in our tomorrow and we don't even pay attention to where we are. I want you to see that. And so when we're talking about this vision, about where I am and where I'm going, it could be you haven't even started yet. It could be you've been going for 30 years and you're afraid to make the next step. This is the battle to even get started, the battle to keep going, or the battle to be focused to where I am on the way to where I'm going. This is a battle. This is the in between most of those places right there. And so I want you to understand there's a fear and not in the unknown. We know that there's the fear of start. There's the fear of failure, right? And we understand that. We understand that the greatest obstacle to our future growth is our current success. We understand that. We understand that there's a frustration of where I want to be will hinder my current progress. So we see this. This is the battle. This is what I'm talking about. The fear to start, the fear to do something more. The obstacle to my future is my present. And it's also this frustration. The frustration is the battle of, I want to be over there, but I'm here right now. It's like, I wish, if you were leaving on Friday for vacation and it was Monday, you've done checked out. You're already on vacation, but you've got 4 more days before you leave. That's a frustration in life. It's a frustration in ministry. It's a frustration in business. It's a frustration in leadership. And you have to figure the battle of that. What does that look like, right? And I want to deal with a few of those today. Here's what I want you to get out of today. Enjoy where you are on the way to where you're going. Just begin to enjoy it. The Bible says in John 10, he come to give life and life more abundantly, or it could be life to the full till it overflows. Most people fail to smell the roses due to the bees, the pollen, the wind, the circumstances, what they're doing. They fail to smell the roses because they're mowing grass, right? It's so many different things that we don't take time just to sit back and enjoy where we are on the way to where we're going. And I'm going to talk about that here in just a minute. But how do you enjoy it? Where you are on the way to where you're going? There's 3 major battles that I see in business, in church, in pastoring, in ministry, in any corporation, organization. There's 3 major battles that you have to fight to be able to enjoy where you are on the way to where you're going. Number 1 is, I call it, is just envy. We are envious of what somebody else has. It's hard to enjoy when I'm walking in envy, when I'm frustrated because they're blessed, or because look at where they are, or they just started 10 years after I did and they're already bigger than we are. And it's envy. I wish I had what they had. I wish that I could have that. I wish I could have that car. I wish I could have that building. I wish I could have that money. I wish I could have that wife. I wish I could have that. I wish I could have that organization. I wish I could have that. And that's envy. What happens in envy We're trying to get what they got by comparison. It's an envy thing. We're now walking in comparison. I'm going to say it this way. I was with a pastor not too long ago. I was in his church and I was listening to things, and I know certain people and what they do in different churches and different things like that. And I recognize that this pastor, who had been in ministry a long time, was doing things that 4 or 5 other pastor friends that I have were doing. And each person was doing something different, but in his ministry and in his service, he was doing the same thing that 4 or 5 other churches were doing and making it part of his church. He stood up and he made this statement. He says, hey, I'm doing this because so-and-so did this. Then he said this, oh, we're going to do this because I was at this place and I saw what they did and I really liked it. And so we're going to do it here. What happens in envy is we try to become somebody else because we see their result and we think, I wish I had that, so I'm going to do exactly what they do. That's not that'll destroy enjoying where you are, because you're missing your own identity. You're missing your own flavor, your own DNA. And this is what we find. We must fight off envy, seeing what everybody else has, their success, and trying to compare and become them. We must realize, that we are responsible to increase what we have been given and be confident in our own identity. We must become a steward and be responsible to increase what we've been given. I think about the 3 different parables, or the parable of the talents, the 3 different, 1 with 1, 1 with 2, 1 with 5. 1 with 5 doubled it, 1 with 2 doubled it, the 1 with 1 hid it. He didn't do nothing with his talent. He was afraid. Well, the 1 with 2 doubled to 4, 1 with 5 doubled to 10. Notice this, they both doubled what they were giving. Stop comparing to everybody else. I could call it comparison, but to me it's envy. We're comparing, or we're duplicating what they're doing, trying to get what they got. The reality, that's their identity. You'll never enjoy where you are on the way to where you're going if you're trying to take on somebody else's identity. That's envious. I'm trying to be them, right? Here's the second thing. Well, let me say this. Inside that envious is determining what I'm doing based on what they're doing. I just do what I'm supposed to do. Be me. I tell people all the time, one of the guys in church preached not too long ago, he said, do you, bro? Because that's my statement. Do you. Be you. Be true. Be authentic. Be organically you. Don't try to be somebody else. Get out of envy. Celebrate what they're doing. Have fun with it. But don't implement it into you unless it's meant for you, right? That's what we have. Number 1, here's what you fight is envy. Number 2, it's a battle that you have to fight. You got to fight this off, is jealousy now. Jealousy and envy may sound similar, but they're different. Envy is I want what they have. Jealous is now I can't stand that they have it. Right? How dare them? And when we're judgmental, we're putting all of our energy into going against them rather than rejoicing in what we do have and rejoicing with them, right? Complaining about what somebody else has. How dare they get it? How'd they get that? And then we want to pick them apart. Let me just talk to you about the church world. Well, they'll say, well, they're just a seeker-sensitive church, and that pastor's not really preaching the true gospel. That person. That's jealousy. When you're belittling and berating somebody else, that's jealousy. What you're really doing, if I could say it this way, and I wrote it this way, you're spending mental and physical energy on someone else's vision rather than giving attention to yours. That's what jealousy does. It begins to consume you, and you're jealous about what they're doing, what they've got, where they're at. You're not wishing it for you. You're now spending all your effort on decreeing to yourself or to people around you to justify why you think they are where they are and they're wrong, rather than spending mental and physical energy on your own vision. This is what jealousy will do. It will eat you. It'll eat at you. It'll destroy you. It'll cause people not want to follow you because you're bitter, you're sour, you're nasty in your mouth, you're slanderous in your statements. You got to fight that. If you're going to enjoy where you are on the way to where you're going, and that battle between there, you got to watch envy. You got to watch jealousy. This is leadership, because we deal with these. We got to remove these things out of our life. Number 3 is you got to deal with anxiety, being anxious, nervous, worrisome, in a hurry. Anxious people are in a hurry. It's like when I drive a little bit, aggressive. My wife calls it aggressive driving. I just call it driving. And I get up behind somebody. I want them to move, and I get over to the left a little bit, trying to get halfway across there to get them out of the way. I'm anxious. It's an anxious driver, right? You're in a hurry for no reason because there's still traffic in front of you. That's what you have to fight. You have to fight that in your life if you're going to be able to enjoy where you are on the way to where you're going. It's one of those things, anxiety, being in a hurry to get something. What happens in this situation? Just let me say this, worrying about the outcome or the result of a thing. This is what anxious is. I'm worried about it. I've got to fix it. I got to put my hand to it. I got to make sure it happens, right? What we're doing is we're not practicing the stewardship needed to not lose what I have. This is what anxiety does. We now so focused on what we don't have that we don't steward what we do have. We're anxious and worried about what's out there. You have to fight this. If you're going to enjoy where you are on the way to where you're going, or I could say the battle between where you are and where you're going, is you got to beat envy. Because that'll happen. That comparison demon will rise up in you. That jealous demon will rise up in you because you'll spend more mental and physical energy on that person rather than on your own vision. And then you got to deal with anxiety. You're in a hurry to get there. I get it, man. There's so many times that I can't wait till we're doing, like our Bible college is a year out. I can't wait to have it, but I can wait because there's so many things I've got to learn. I've got to learn to steward what I have so I don't lose what I have when that opens, because that's a whole nother a load of work and another not burden in a negative, but the task and the driven ability for our whole staff. Anxiety in a hurry and worrying about this is going to destroy where you are. You'll never enjoy it. You were never meant to be stressed. You were never meant to be jealous. You were never meant to be envious. You were never meant to be anxious. That was never our design. We must fight those off. You can fight them off. Last episode, I talked about emotional discipline. You fight those off by physical discipline, your eating discipline, your soulish discipline, your spiritual discipline. You beat those things. And you ought to go back and listen to the last episode on that reality. And here's the thing, you must fight those. There's many other, but I want to deal with those three because I see them in my own life that I got to beat them. But I also see those and evident in a couple leaders I've talked to that they have to beat these key components. If not, they'll never enjoy where I am. You must enjoy where you are on the way to where you're going. Well, how do I win this battle? How do I beat it? I just got a few thoughts here. That actually, there's only 3 today. Normally I'm up much more, but just 3 thoughts. How do you win the battle between where I am versus where I'm going? How do I do it? Number 1, once you beat envy, jealousy, and anxiety, here's what you do, is you realize the destination is actually a journey and not an endpoint. In your business, in your ministry, in your church, in your organization, so many of us are trying to reach a destination. But if we're living by legacy mindset, then there's never retirement. There's never this, I'm going to retire when I'm done and it's over and kudos, I'm great, I'm excited. No, our goal, and with a vision and a plan and a purpose, is to carry that on from generation to generation to generation. So if I'm going to understand that, then the vision evolves, then I realize that the destination is actually the journey. It's not the end point. And if I understand that everything that I'm doing is part of the end goal to develop in me and help me get to where I'm going and leave this as a legacy, then I'm not so anxious. I'm not so envious about them. I'm learning the life lessons because the vision is always evolving. The destination, I'm talking about leadership. I'm talking about business. I'm talking about vision. I'm talking about ministry. It's meant for legacy. It's not meant for retirement. It's not a one and done situation. And to enjoy where you're at, recognize it's all part of the journey. There are life lessons. There are extractions we have to do. We've got to pull some things out of it. But to number 1, to be able to enjoy it, realize this is the journey. Every aspect of, if I was to leave today and hand this ministry over? Is it better than it was when my in-laws gave it to me? And will the person that takes it on make it better than I did? It's a journey. The destination is the journey. That's the understanding. If I get that, I can win the battle. That I don't have to do all of that stuff. I don't have to go all of those places. For example, our vision is Central and South America, right? But we've enlarged the territory. We've expanded into Africa. Well, I'm going to Nigeria in a few weeks. And if I get to Kenya, great. If I get to Rwanda, great. If I get to, Uganda again, great. But if I don't, that's the vision. It's carrying on. It is continuing on to do what God has called us to do. And we must recognize it. I'm not trying to make it happen under anxiety. I'm just enjoying the journey, and it shall evolve when I've learned everything I need to learn. Number one, realize the destination is the journey, not an endpoint. Number two, you must develop the art of extraction. I wrote it, you could write it in any other way, but you could say, develop the art of extracting life lessons. The things in life that you're missing, that in every problem, every hindrance, every traffic jam, there's something to be learned. Always there. There are lessons in every area of life that are meant to be learned, and we must develop the art of extraction. If we're going to run our vision, we're going to run our race, and we're not where we want to be yet, that means we haven't learned everything we need to learn now to manage and handle and steward what's coming in front of us. This is what it looks like. Every lesson in our life. I'm just talking 36 years of experience in our ministry. I've been a part of it over 31 years, and there are certain things that were hindered. If I say it that way, please don't say that it was somebody else's fault. What I'm saying is that we're hindered because we didn't know how to steward certain things. Just understand that. Steward certain things. And life lessons teach us and strengthen us and train us how to manage and handle the future by what we're going through today. We must realize that. Develop the art of extraction. Why? Because you don't know what you don't know until you've learned it. So learn everything you need to in every area of your life, in every situation of your life. Learn it. Grab a hold of it. Extract everything you can. One, realize the destination is the journey. It's not an endpoint. Two, develop the art of extraction. And three, this is the one you have to have emotional discipline with, is you must learn contentment. Paul said in the book of Philippians, I've learned what it is to be abased and not. I've learned to be content with and content without. It is contentment, the art of contentment. The contentment is this: enjoy where you are on the way to where you're going. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what, it's an art. You must change and channel the emotions of things that you don't have, what everybody else does have, wishing you had more, the worrying what you don't have and how to get it. You must understand to discipline those emotions to become content with what I do have. If you begin to do that, I'm telling you, you're going to enjoy where you are. Contentment is simply this. I've said it a couple of times on this one, is you got to be able to smell the roses. I remember there was a time I was in Guatemala a few years ago, 2018, I think it was. And I was sitting on the porch of the bungalow there on the campus in Quezaltenango of Living Waters teaching in the Bible college there with Living Waters. And I was sitting there, and they have these beautiful roses all around. This was my second year there. And as I was sitting on the porch, I was talking to my wife on FaceTime, and I realized there is a rose right here in front of my porch. And it actually has bloomed. It's beautiful. I think the color was orange. And I just turned it around. And I told my wife, I said, look at this. Look how big this rose is. And she was like, oh, that's beautiful. And that's a great color, and so on and so forth. I say that because I had been there for a week a year before, and that was like Friday of the week that I was there. I'd already been there a week. So 2 weeks, same porch, same bungalow, same community, same rose, but I hadn't paid attention to it. You know why? Because I wasn't content of being where I was. I learned a lesson in 2018 about that. This contentment situation simply tells me this: slow down. Whatever you don't get done today, you can do it tomorrow. This is what contentment is. Anxiety, stress, worry. People will say, man, I'm so busy. I've worked in 12 hours. Well, why'd you work 12 hours? You didn't get no more done after 8. You got to learn to be able to slow down and be content where you are and realize that the destination is the journey. I don't have to have it all done. We have deadlines and there are times for that, but I'm just talking about in general. Listen to what I'm saying. You got to learn when to put the work on the shelf and enjoy the roses, smell them. Contentment is simply this: running your own race. Don't try to compare. Don't try to get the applause of people. Learn that. Here's how you get to the point where you battle between where I am and where I'm going. 1, realize the destination is the journey. It's all part of it. 2, develop the art of extraction. What did you not learn, which is keeping you where you are? Learn everything you can. 3, learn contentment. Be content. Slow down. Slow down. Why? Because when you are at great peace, when you are enjoying the life, you're enjoying the vision, you're enjoying the journey, you know what I mean? It's easier to extract everything you can to understand that where we're going, it is so great and it's so vast and it's so large. But if I don't grow and learn how to steward everything I got, I'm going to lose it eventually. Listen, we all have those envious moments. We all have those jealous moments. We all have anxiety, but you bottle that through emotional discipline, learn to be content, and listen, as leaders, if you'll set the tone in the atmosphere in the business, the church, the ministry, organization, if you'll set the tone of contentment, of where you are, everybody around you will enjoy the ministry, the church, the business, the organization, and you'll watch them grab a hold of the vision and run even faster with you. And you'll see things grow and come quicker to you because you just learned how to be content. Enjoy where you are on the way to where you're going, because the destination is really the whole journey. Hey, till next time, I call you blessed. And may the anointing of God get all over you. And don't forget, go to my website, check out my MIT, order the book. Call you blessed.